Hey everyone, so today's video I wanted to talk about a specific type of therapy that I found very helpful and something that I thought I would throw out there to all of you guys who would benefit from it. So this type of therapy is rational emotional behavioral therapy, also known as REBT. And basically what this therapy stresses is looking at the particular event, whatever the trigger being, and kind of analyzing it, looking at what the consequences would be if you continued in that um, mindset, and then saying, okay, well, what's irrational about it, and then how can we dispute it, and then what can we do to grow from it. There's actually a little sheet that you can fill out. I'll post a link for it down below. Um, and basically, it starts out. There's a little box you guys can see. It says activating event, which would just be talking about you write down whatever the triggering event is, whether it be something happens and so you want to binge purge, or you want to restrict, or if you want to self-harm, or if you have OCD and you want to, or you have one of the obsessive thoughts controlling you and you really feel like you have to act on it. That would be what you write in that. And then you move to the consequences, which is over here, and you have the major, and it's the major unhealthy negative emotions and the major self-defeating behaviors. So what it says there, because there's a little thing underneath, is to say different things that it could bring about, whether it be hurt or shame or depression, anxiety, things like that. That would be a self-defeating thing. Also, it could harm your health, so writing down the health complications. If you purge, you have a weakened esophagus, if you restrict, you have less ability to focus and your brain functioning goes down. If you engage in self-injury, you can go on and think of all these stuff. So you write down what the consequences would be, and you don't sugarcoat it. You say this is what would happen. And then you move to the irrational beliefs section, which there's 4 columns here you see across. And basically what you do with that is you look at the thoughts that are you must do this, or you should do this, or you have to cut, or you have to restrict, or you have to binge, because, and you write those down to see them on paper and say, oh, okay, let me actually take a look at these and not just accept them straight off the bat with no questions asked. And the next thing that you do is you move to disputing them. And this is where you say, is this helpful? Is it really going to help me in the long run? Is it harming my health? Is it consistent with reality? Is it going to bring me to the world that I live in, or will it take me inside the reality in my own mind? For those of you who don't have an eating disorder, in eating disorders, we go into the mindset and you fully become engrossed in the distorted thoughts and thinking. And your reality shifts from that of the one that you're currently living in to a, to the one inside your mind. So, for example, I could be hanging out with friends and not be there in the moment. And I'm not just saying oh, you're daydreaming, you're off. It's no, you are living in your mind, and you have so much other stuff going on that no matter what's going on physically around you, you're just numb to it. It doesn't affect you. So that would be what you do. You write down the disputing things and say, wait, is this really good? Is this really bad? That type of thing. Then the next thing that you move on to doing is talking about the rational beliefs, saying what you want to do, what you hope to achieve in life, and say kind of point out your toleration. I really, really want to. I really have the urge to engage in some symptom right now, but I think that I can just hold it in and not act upon it. Though that's the section that you would write them down and look at them. And then the next thing is looking at the beliefs, and since you've now disputed them and you've looked at the negative consequences, is coming up with new healthy things that you can do in order to not do a self-destructive thing, whether it be, again, binging, purging, restricting, self-mutilating, whether it be engaging in an obsessive thought and OCD. So that's what you fill out in that column. And I really like this, especially for someone like me, who I'm very structured and organized, and I want everything nice and pretty and stuff. And so this nice chart makes it really easy to look at and fill out. And that way when you go back, you can see, okay, well, I had the urge to cut last week, and now I have it again now. So let me pull out my handy dandy little sheet, and you already went through it and you worked through it, and so it's something that you can like reference, um, which is definitely something good. I think that the reason that I really want to talk about rational emotional behavioral therapy is I think it's really been a huge part of my recovery, um, for so long, like in feeling the urges to self-injure, in my eating disorder, in my obsessive thoughts. Um, we always just act upon them, and it's an impulsive thing. We don't take the time to stop and look at them. And this type of therapy is calling us to slow down and to take a look and think before we act, as opposed to act and then think. Um, and I'm not going to say that it's really easy, that you'll get it down perfectly every time, but I think that rational emotional behavioral therapy is something to consider, just because you are working through it. And again, it's something that you can reference whenever you want. And it gives you something to do. You can, like, I don't know, if you like lists and stuff, you can just write. Like, it's really good. I know sometimes, like, I want to express myself, but I don't know how to do that. And sometimes you need a guided thing like this. It even says, like, all the different thoughts and asks you questions and helps you along the way. And I think that having this is something that could help you when that obsessive thought is just like going in your mind saying that's the only thing to focus on. This is something to pull you back into reality and say, hey, take a break. Let's look at what's going to happen and how it's going to hinder your recovery. So that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video, was rational emotional behavioral therapy. I do want to make a video on art therapy soon and the importance of that in recovery, just because I just was going through like my recovery box. I have all these art therapy pieces that I did. I have these forms filled out. I have old like journal entries and stuff. Like, all this stuff is thrown in here and in this box. And so I was going through it and reading it, and some of the things I was like, wow, like I really want to use that and help people, and hopefully help them along the way and see like, oh, what if I could apply this to my life, how that would be beneficial. So the first thing of these, like what you could apply to your life, I guess, would be the rational emotional behavioral therapy. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them, or if there's any type of therapy you want me to address, individual, group, family, rational emotional behavioral therapy, art therapy, I've done all of them. Other ones I'm also like researching and writing about, so if you just want to give me a heads up, and I could do a video for you guys. Or if you have anything that you want me to address and talk about, don't hesitate to send it in. So I guess that's really it for this video. I will see you guys soon, and I hope that all of you are well. Bye.